They were three of the most terrifying weeks in US history.
I'm at Tapestry Warehouse, and a man just fell in the parking lot. There was a loud noise, but we're not sure if he was shot.
A team of snipers on the loose in our nation's capital, indiscriminately killing at will. The victims ranged in age from 13 to 72, black, white, male and female.
Male?
Oh my God!
What is wrong?
A man has been killed in front of me.
The police could find no links, no connecting motives at all, until they finally found one.
They said, well, Miss Muhammad, didn't you know you were the target?
Now, in this Crime Watch Daily special, the wife and kids of sniper John Allen Muhammad sit down with our own Melissa Moore, the daughter of the infamous happy-face serial killer Keith Jasperson, to talk about what it was like to live with a killer. And to explain how a crime spree that left at least 17 dead was really a twisted plot to misdirect police once he achieved his ultimate goal, to kill his own wife and get custody of their children.
When you saw John on TV, what were your feelings?
This is unreal. I cannot believe that he would include other people in us. I can't believe he would do something this crazy.
Soulless, a monster, the devil himself. It's easy to label him now, but before his name became synonymous with evil, John Allen Muhammad was just another man. By most accounts, even a good man.
What attracted you to him?
His smile. He had a beautiful smile. The first time I laid eyes on John was at a convenience store. A friend of mine and I went there, and he was coming out of the store and he had the brightest smile. He came over to the car, put his head through the driver's side window and asked me out for a date.
One date turned to more, and before long, they were married with children, 2 girls and a boy, an all-American family.
John was a great father. He loved his children, he doted over them.
He was an original. He was very supportive. Everything that a child looked for in a dad.
What are your best memories of him?
Best memories, my mom would put on Bob Marley, and my dad would walk in and he would always do this dumb dance that he just, because my dad didn't know how to dance, so it would always just be a fun time, always.
But then world events came barging in and changed everything. Operation Desert Storm. Then Army reservist John Allen Muhammad is deployed to the Persian Gulf as part of the US-led effort to liberate Kuwait.
He was a demolition expert, he was an expert shot, hand-to-hand combat expert. I remember one of my friends saying, you know, you're sleeping with a trained killer, right? I was like, yeah, but you know, he's not gonna hurt me. Never saw that coming.
But Mildred now says that the man she married never returned from the battlefield.
When he got back, he was totally different. He was quiet and reserved, whereas before he was jovial, he laughed a lot. He kept a lot of his emotions to himself, whereas before he was eager to share how he felt.
Mildred tried to convince John to get counselling, but it only drove him further away, and soon he became both verbally and emotionally abusive.
When we got into arguments, he said, well, you know, it's only a matter of mind over matter. I said, what does that mean? He said, I don't mind because you don't matter.
For months, John cut Mildred down, making her feel worthless. And then came the suspected affairs. Mildred had finally had enough.
I told him then, I said, you know, I want a divorce. I said, you're acting free, you may as well be free. There's no reason for you to lie to me, for you to say you're one place and you're not another, and I'm done. I'm done.
Unfortunately, John Allen Muhammad wasn't done with her. In the coming months, his sinister side revealed itself more and more.
He moved out. He still had a key to the house. He would come in the middle of the night. I would hear the key going in the door. I would open my eye, just a slither. And he walked from one side of the bed to the other, lean over to listen to me breathe, stand up, and walk out the room.
This is quite an escalation. So you got a restraining order, correct?
I got a restraining order. The judge told me that I need to get away from this guy because of the form that I completed to show the danger that I was in. And that's when he gave me a lifetime restraining order.
Is that rare?
That's very rare. I don't even know if they give those out anymore, but he gave me one.
But that only made things worse.
After we had gone to court for a restraining order, he had come over to the house. And he said we needed to talk. My brother was in the house, and I thought I would be safe. We go into the garage, and he says, "You're not going to raise my children by yourself. You have become my enemy, and as my enemy, I will kill you." John was a man of his word. He said what he meant what he said. He was no joke. He walked towards me. I ran out of the garage to my brother. John left the house.
Mildred told anyone who would listen, but like thousands of other victims of domestic abuse, because she had no physical scars, she had trouble getting people to believe her. What's worse, she still had to keep contact with her tormentor.
I had the restraining order, but he still had to have visitation. So we had a friend of ours who would pick the children up, take them to him, so from Friday to Sunday. The children were with him.
At some point, you're going about your day and things change. How does that happen?
The first weekend went fine. Second weekend was my mother's birthday. The friend picked up the children, and I told him to tell John that he needed to have the children back by 5:30 Sunday night. He said, "Okay, no problem." And then 5:30 comes, that friend comes with a note from Taliba saying, "Happy birthday, Grandma," with $2 in it. I said, "Well, where are my children?" He said, "You need to call John."
After a series of frantic back and forth calls, John finally tells Mildred he's bringing the kids back to her house. That was shortly before midnight, March 26th. What Mildred had no way of knowing then was that she would not see her kids again for another 18 months.
They didn't come back. I stayed up all night. He kidnapped the children.
Coming up.
I had two choices. I could go back to him and die, or never see my children again.
And John Allen Muhammad recruits a deadly ally.
One day my dad came home and he said, "This is your new brother now." We were like, "Oh, okay." His name's Lee. "Okay, hi Lee."